Hello, and welcome to the level guide for R5D2. Let's get started by talking about loadouts. This level has lots of big enemies, chargers, and big chargers in it, so you want to take things that can kill these targets very easily. So things like the sniper rifle, shotgun, and hell rifle are excellent choices for this level. For tools, you want to bring the bio tracker, the mine deployer, and 2 sniper sentries. You don't get much tool on this map, and because of the amount of big enemies, you're going to want lots of mines, so unless the sentries are almost completely out of ammo, you most likely want to just give the tool refill to the mine deployer. Starting off in zone 280, you will see that your main objective is to find the reactor and turn it back on. Another thing you're going to notice is that almost every single zone in this level is going to be without power, so the lights are going to be off for almost the whole level. Inside of zone 280 itself, you'll find a mix of normal enemies and shadows, and for resources, you'll be able to find 3 uses of medkits and 4 uses of ammo kits. Finally, you'll be able to find your security door to zone 289, but we can ignore this for now. We'll come back for it during the reactor later in the level. Find your security door to zone 281, complete the team scan, and head on into that zone. Inside of zone 281, you'll be able to find 2 scouts as well as a lot of big enemies, and this entire zone is going to have cocoons in it, so once you leave it, the enemies are going to respawn. You will also find your security door to zone 288 in this zone, which again will be ignored for now as we'll come back for it during the reactor. For resources, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 8 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of tool refill kits. Your alarm door to zone 282 is going to be a class 5 mixed big guy alarm. Your floor plan will look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn here, and they will break down any of these 4 doors to get into your room. Even if you leave one side open to try and funnel the enemies, just depending on what side they decide to run to, they can actually just break down all 4 doors anyways. Because you don't get much tool on this level, you don't want to use sentries or mines on this alarm, and you want to save them for later on. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the alarm door, complete the scans, and head on into zone 282. Inside of zone 282, you will always find 2 scouts. You'll also be able to find 3 uses of medkits and 4 uses of ammo kits. On the north and the south side of the room, you'll find 2 different sets of security doors. The ones on the north go to zones 284 and 285, while the ones on the south go to 286 and 287. In either zone 285 or in 287, there will be a cell that you'll need to grab so you can power your warden door to zone 283. Once you know where your cell is, go ahead and start the team scan, and head on into that zone. Inside of zones 284 and 286, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits and 4 uses of ammo kits. There will also be your alarm door to either zone 285 or 287 in the back of the room. This alarm door is going to be a class 6 cluster alarm, and your floor plan is going to look like this. For 285, the enemies will spawn here and they will break down this door to get into your room. I don't suggest you mine this door because by the time you hear the noise for the horde spawning, they're already beating on the door and have probably broken it. You want to place one of your sentry guns outside of the room facing the security door, and you want to put your second sentry gun inside the room on this desk facing the door that the enemies are going to be beating on. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the alarm door. Because of how close the enemies spawn to you during this alarm, you can actually watch them spawn in, so having one player hold up by the door with a hell rifle is actually a very good idea because you can kill the enemies before they even enter the room. For zone 287, the enemies will be able to spawn here, and they'll break down these 3 doors to get into the room. I recommend that you leave one of these 2 doors open so you can try and funnel the enemies and point both your sniper sentries at that door. Regardless of which zone you get, do your scans, complete the alarm, and head on into either zone 285 or 287. Inside of zones 285 and 287, you will be able to find 4 scouts, along with a lot of big enemies and a cell. For resources, you'll be able to find 4 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, and 5 uses of tool refill kits. So grab your cell and head back over to zone 282 and put the cell in. Once you put in the cell, it will unlock your warden door to zone 283. This warden door is going to be a class 9 mixed diminish alarm. Now this sounds a lot scarier than it actually is. The diminish scan is going to make sure that there's not going to be nearly as many enemies coming after you. For the mixed part, the first scan is going to be a team scan like normal, and then every scan after that is going to be an S1 scan, with the 4th and the 8th set of scans being S1 cluster scans. You can put your sentries to the top of these staircases on opposite sides of the room. This way it has a good amount of room coverage and can shoot enemies as they come out of the doors. Your floor plan for this alarm is going to look like this. The enemies will spawn here, here, and here. They can also spawn here or here, depending on which security door you've opened, and they'll break down these doors to get into your room. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the alarm door, do the scans, and get ready to head on into zone 283. Inside of zone 283, you'll be able to find one scout. You'll also be able to find a mother, a lot of big guys, and sleeping babies. There will also be a lot of fog on the bottom floor of this zone, so having fog repellers is really useful for this part of the level. For resources, you'll be able to find 2 use of medkits, 6 use of ammo kits, and 1 use of a tool refill kit. You'll also be able to find a keycard in this zone, and you're going to need this keycard to open the security door back in the starting zone. This is a very high threat zone, so you really only want to sneak through it to get your keycard and maybe the ammo pack and then get out. Once you've gotten your keycard, have everybody head back to starting zone, which is 281, and start your team scan to zone 289. Be careful when you're heading back to this zone, because zone 282 will have respawned and there's going to be a lot of big enemies in there. Whenever you're ready, head on into zone 289. Zone 289 will have 2 use of medkits and 4 uses of ammo kits. It'll also have your warden door to zone 290, which is only a team scan. Inside zone 290, you'll find your reactor. You'll also be able to find 10 uses of medkits, 14 uses of ammo kits, and 1 use of a tool refill kit. You probably want to give this tool refill to mines even if the sentries are out. You don't really need sentries for this reactor, but mines are very, very useful. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and start the reactor. This reactor is only going to be 4 waves, but there is going to be a large twist in the middle of it. Once you finish the wave, head over to your blood door to zone 291, which is to the left of the reactor terminal. It's going to be a shadow blood door, but I wouldn't mind it because it's only going to be 6 shadows. Along with this blood door being shadows, all of the enemies in the zone behind it are also going to be shadows. There are also going to be big shadows in this zone, so be careful of them. For resources, you'll be able to find 3 uses of medkits and 4 uses of ammo kits. In the back of the zone, you'll be able to find both your terminal locations right here. Once you've gotten the second code, go ahead and start the second wave. There are going to be big guys and hybrids from here on out, so just be aware of that. Once you finish this wave, you'll only be given a minute and a half to find the next terminal before it's going to repeat the wave. It's impossible, really, to not have at least one wave repeat, so what you're going to do to minimize the amount of waves is everybody's going to go into the next zone and you're just going to shoot everything. Go through the blood door and make a right turn and do the mini stealth scan to head on into zone 292. Inside of this zone, you'll be able to find a ton of big guys and a ton of shadows. Just make your way through and shoot everything and just go as fast as you can. All of the enemies from this reactor spawn in the exact same spot every single time, so as long as you close and mine a door behind you, none of the wave enemies should be able to sneak up on you while you're clearing out the rooms of this zone. There is only one terminal in this zone and it's found in the very last room here, so once you get your code, head back onto the main reactor. Once you put in the second code, you're going to be doing a lot of running. There is a security door in zone 282 that is now going to come off of lockdown, and your entire team needs to make your way over to it. Keep in mind that zone 282 is a respawn zone, so you're going to have to kill all of the stuff in there again. This next wave of the reactor, it can basically just be described as an error alarm. It is going to spawn 7 or 8 guys in a hybrid about every 45 seconds. In zone 288, there will only be chargers, big chargers, and a charger scout in this zone. You've got 2 options when clearing this out. One person goes in and tries to stealth their way to the terminals and not wake anything up, or you can just pull the rooms and shoot everything and mine the doors. It doesn't really matter what way you do this, just whatever way your group is most comfortable with. Just know that if you're doing the stealth one, you want to close the door behind the person that goes in because you still have to deal with the waves that are spawning. Your terminal locations for this zone can be found in these 2 spots here. Finally, for resources in this zone, you'll be able to find 6 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, and 4 uses of tool refill kits. Make way back to the reactor and put in your 3rd code so you can start your 4th and final wave of the reactor. The joke is that there is no 4th wave of the reactor. The game will give you the code automatically and then it gives you 10 minutes to put it in. This is your preparation time. Go ahead and grab any resources that you left behind and then put the code in. Once you put this code in, it's going to immediately open the security door to zone 293 at the far back of the reactor room, and immediately after it opens this door, it is going to spawn 3 tanks. As long as you move fast to the zones and close every door behind you after you open it, the tanks will take literal decades to get to you, so you can just do your team scans to 294 and to 295 before they become a problem. There's a few handfuls of sleeping enemies in these 2 next zones, but it doesn't really matter all that much. You can ignore them unless they wake up, but outside of that, just get to the 2 security doors, being the 294 and the 295, do your team scans, and then extract. If you feel like killing the tanks, you can. Their AI is completely terrible, so you can just kind of sit up top on the staircase and snipe them. If you don't feel like killing the tanks, you don't have to, you can just go to extract. It takes less than 10 seconds to complete, so you can just ignore the tanks almost entirely. But once you've done all of that, you will have finally beaten R5D2. Due to the nature of RNG, enemy and resource numbers may be off by plus or minus 1, but for the most part they should be what I show here. Outside of that, that's all I've got. Leave a comment if you think I missed something, and you guys have fun.